All right, you motherfuckers. I went to the Hive Mind stream. I shouldn't start off the video cursing. All right, you scrubs. I went to the Hive Mind stream, okay? To make sure that none of you were there after I left. And I swear to God, I was so hyped. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. That is crazy. You missed out if you weren't there, all right? There's Tizo touchdown. You understand?
The GOAT.
The GOAT. You don't even know, okay? So, yeah, I might have broken my own rules, but whatever. Doesn't matter. Today, we got a bit of a special event, okay? So, I am listening to Teens of Denial by Headrest. Now, you might be like, Bradley, that's a pretty random album to pick out of nowhere, this 2016 project by Headrest, and you'd be absolutely right. However, the reason we've chosen it is because we got an expert here, all right? Somebody who knows Headrest very well, who loves this album, and I am all ears as they are going to basically be helping me experience this album to the fullest today. Static, would you like to say hi in a few words?
Yeah. Hey, hello. I'm Static. You've probably seen me in the community a few times. I pop in live streams every now and then. I'm a really big fan of the channel, and as well as this album specifically. I've basically been like a massive Headrest stan like ever since around when Face to Face dropped, and so it's one of those bands that means like very much a lot to me, and I really love like basically I would say about 90% of their albums. And yeah, I'm a very big fan of Will Toledo, you know, Will Tostito, the GOAT.
What do you think of Captain Alex saying, I found out I was bi because of this album?
Yeah, that checks out.
Static, today, I've heard also, you know, I'm going to put you on blast here, that the only reason that you are showing me this album is that you suspect I am gay. Would you like to address these allegations, huh?
Yeah, because I definitely made these allegations. Yeah. There's no proof that, you know, there's no proof denying these allegations. Would you say that's not correct?
What do you mean denying these allegations? What, the allegations about me or about you? Making allegations out of nowhere. Because all of a sudden I'm seeing some evidence about some allegations spinning up out of thin air, okay? Thank you, Skriegel. Wait, Rainbow, what are you trying to say, Skriegel?
You see, that's a sign right there.
No, allegations! Allegations!
You know, Brad, it is Pride Month, so that checks out with a lot of things, you know?
This is actually probably a really good album to be listening to during Pride Month. Oh my god.
That is true, actually, yeah.
That being said, though, I'd like you to give an introduction to this album, what it means to you, you know, and yeah, just kind of get things kicked off.
Yeah, I got you. All right, so this is Teens of Denial. It is the 10th mainline album from Headrest. It's the second album when they got signed under Matador Records. Technically, it's also the second album as like a full band, because up to their last album, Teens of Style, which I'll get into that, Will basically created all of his albums on his own, basically by himself, using like Bandcamp and a cheap laptop that he had at the time. And yeah, this is sort of a sister album to the one that he released before this one, Teens of Style. An album which was exploring themes of past traumas and experiences from your past. And it explored those topics by re-recording a bunch of old songs from the Headrest name, like some songs from My Back Is Killing Me Baby, Monomania, a couple from 3. I think there's only like one original song on that album, and even then it samples like a bunch of older tracks. But yeah, that's basically the first half of this album. Not very important. It's not very good, I don't think. But anyway, Teens of Denial, on the other hand, explores those exact same topics and themes. However, it takes a much different approach to that by sort of displaying it as a story-based kind of loose concept album where Will sort of personifies these experiences into a completely separate character named Joe, as you can see through the track list. And Joe goes through these same scenarios that Will went through in his college life, and it sort of details him feeling as if his life is slowly falling apart. And yeah. The cover and name of the album is from an old photo that Will found in a library, I think, called 1937 State Park, which is another song on the album. I'm gonna send you that photo in the DMs really quick so you can pull it up on stream if you want. So this is sort of the original photo that Will found that he based the cover art on. And the picture is two unnamed teenage boys fighting in what looks to be like a park or like a graveyard or something like that. And that basically sort of exemplifies the themes of the album of like teenage angst and like anger, sort of like baked into this album, as you can see. I've seen a few people pull some ties between this cover and the Twin Fantasy album cover too, where because like the Twin Fantasy cover art is like the two dogs like sort of embracing, and it's a very intimate and sort of personal looking like cover art to have, especially for the album that it's based on. Where on Teens of Denial, it's again these two boys like fighting, and it's very like aggressive and sort of like very angsty in a way, if that makes sense. Because again, it's sort of like portraying like those like emotions and in sort of like a very aggressive way that, you know, teenagers tend to do.
So, quick question: do you believe that these two in the picture end up becoming lovers on Twin Fantasy? That this is them fighting before, you know, making up on that project?
I suppose that is a way to look at it, I guess. Sure, I suppose, if you want to headcanon that.
Happy Pride Month. There you go. All right.
Yeah.
Gay Teens of Denial Theory canon. There you go. See? All right.
Yeah. True. The sound of the album as well ties into these themes as well, because where a lot of his previous albums, even Teens of Style to an extent, were sort of like very lo-fi, slacker, like noise rock type stuff. This album goes for a much more like sort of youthful rage, like garage punk type of sound, which again sort of ties into like that feeling of like being a teenager in like a fucked up world type thing. And Brian Eno once described a lot of Carsey Headrest's work as the sound of failure, like specifically with the original.
That's not very nice. That's very rude. You could have left that out. That's very mean of him to say. Okay.
Well, hold on.
Brian Emo.
True. Because
no, I get what you're saying though.
To be fair, that does fit, because the original Twin Fantasy, Monomania, Nervous Young Man, all of those sort albums like have protagonists in them that suffer great failure through, whether it be like through heartbreak or anger or just like sheer depression. And this album sort of falls in that same category as well, as it's basically the failure of sort of becoming a young adult in the fast life, college life, pretty much.
Is this real? What Static didn't tell you is that this album is actually the origin story for the AJR song Joe from OK Orchestra. Is that real? Are they bullshitting?
I knew some motherfucker was gonna bring this up. Okay. You know? Why, bro?
Okay, all right. Let's. What do you say we get started with the listen here? Would you like to describe "Fill in the Blank," the first song?
I got you. All right. Fill in the blank. The intro song. This song is essentially the beginning of this story, presenting the themes that the rest of the album is going to go further into detail about. It introduces us to the character of Joe, a nihilistic teenager who feels like the world is constantly working against him.
Now, would you say that Joe is short for Joe Mama?
I'm just gonna ignore that and move on.
Got
The
him!
world that the adults in his life are telling him he's only seen a fraction of. This song specifically details his frustrations with other people in his life, telling him he has nothing to be sad about and to just shut up and enjoy the life that he has right now. Joe finds that really hard to do since he feels like he has nothing to celebrate in his life and nothing to show for it so far. He finds solace in understanding that he's right to be depressed and his efforts for happiness did lead nowhere. And these are the emotions that Joe takes with him to college. And so, yeah.
All right, first song, fill in the blank.
You haven't tried hard enough to like it. Haven't seen enough of this world yet. And it hurts, it hurts, it hurts, it hurts. But stop your whining, try again. No one wants to cause you pain. They're just trying to let some air in. But you hold your breath, you hold your breath, you hold it. Hold my breath, I hold my breath, I hold it. You haven't tried hard enough to like it. Haven't seen enough of this world yet. But it hurts, it hurts, it hurts, it hurts. So stop your whining, try again. No one wants to cause you pain. They're just trying to let some air in. But you hold your breath, you hold your breath, you hold it. Hold my breath, I hold my breath, I hold it. I get signs from the cops saying stay down. I get signs from the audience saying stay down. I get signs from God saying stay down. I've got a right to be depressed. I've given every inch I had to fight it. I've seen too much of this world yet. And it hurts, it hurts, it hurts, it hurts. And I will never see the light that I've seen shining in your eyes. You just wanna see me naked, so I'll hold my breath, I'll hold my breath, I'll hold it. Hold my breath, I'll hold my breath, I'll hold my breath, I'll hold my breath, I'll hold my breath.
They just wanna see me naked, so hold my breath, I hold my breath, I hold it. Hold my breath, I 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 hold my breath.
Fill in the blank is interesting because it honestly, I think I've heard this song before. Either I was sent it in or I've tried listening to this album before getting really bored and then changing it. And I think the reason I got so bored of it is because it is angsty, it is to the point, and it is basically straightforward indie rock, which anyways, point being, in the past, I have talked down on indie rock. Now, I will say, though, that is why Static is here, okay? Because there is no way I would give a shit about this without some context. That being said, though, I actually think this song stands pretty great on its own. Sure, I don't think it's as instantaneously punchy as a lot of the material that is on Twin Fantasy, but there is something about, you know, again, the hopelessness and the angst about this that pulls me in. I'm engaged. I'll give it a smiley ball right now. Not really sure about a number, but I'm enjoying it.
Yeah. I actually think this is like, in terms of like bangers that this band has like put out, like I would honestly say this is like one of my favorites that they've ever made. I think this song goes hard as all hell. I love the lyrics of it. I love the drumming and the riffs. Like that part near the end where it was going like, I get signs from the like that shit's catchy to me. I blast this whenever like it just pops up in the car. I love it.
Nice.
It's sort of become a bit of an anthem for me, to be honest. So yeah.
Sweet. All right. And then Vincent. So is Vincent like a continuation of the story? Because Fill in the Blank feels like a pack up the bags and go kind of song. For me,
yeah.
At least personally. So how does Vincent kind of like carry and continue this on?
Yeah, so Fill in the Blank is basically like that's sort of the song where Joe like first goes to college. Like he's sort of like told by people to just kind of like, dude, you have no right to be depressed, like whatever, like just pack up and go. And so in Vincent, he's in college pretty much.
So what you're saying, and again, you're defending him against the just get over it, you know, because I think he should just get over it, right? You know,
Correct.
just get over it, you know? So, you know, what are your thoughts on that?
So what you're saying is you're a part of the problem.
Whoa, hey, that's not very nice of you, okay?
Hey, I'm just reading.
I'm just trying to give a good, helpful advice. I don't appreciate that, okay?
We'll get there when we go to a specific song, but yeah. Someone also mentioned in chat earlier, and I forgot to tell you about this, is that Joe technically is not a new character within the Corsi Headrest like name. On a song from his 2013 album Nervous Young Man, on the song called The Gun Song, if you look in the line notes of that song specifically, it mentions like a character named Joe, who in that song is sort of like a nihilistic, like drug addicted guy who's like fucked up in the head. And so I've seen people say that this album's kind of I guess sort of a continuation of that idea. But yeah, I just want to very quickly throw that out there.
It was canon. What you're saying?
Yeah.
There's a universe.
Yeah. Because this album was written like in between 2013 and 2014, I believe, back when Will was like in college, like actually.
Nice.
So these are all based on like real events that sort of like happened in those moments, sort of.
All right.
And
oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, I was gonna read what I have for Vincent.
Oh, okay.
Next song is Vincent. This song sets up the location of the album, Williamsburg, Virginia, at the William and Mary College campus. This continues the setup of themes in Fill in the Blank. Joe feels like a tourist attraction at Williamsburg, which many people visit for colonial Williamsburg and Busch Gardens and all that. And he feels like sleeping and going home are his two best options almost 100% of the time. The song's name comes from Vincent van Gogh, the painter of the picture of clinical depression on the Wikipedia page.
He's also the creator of Breaking Bad. Isn't that right? Hello?
I mean, I feel like there's a few. I feel like that's not remotely true, but you know what? I don't have the energy to look that up. So for now, sure. Um, the the painting in question is this picture of like a sorrowing old man at eternity's gates, and this picture helps describe Joe's pain, something that he has sort of a hard time explaining to other people. But at the sort of in the chorus and by the end of the song, someone ends up calling the cops because of a rowdy party in Joe's dorm. So he decides to take shelter in another dorm room by the end.
All right, here we go. Vincent.
People are telling me not to spoil you about things from the album.
Yo, this is shit I wouldn't have picked up on. Like, I'll just put it like this. If I didn't want to be spoiled, I wouldn't have hired Static. And by hired, I mean, you know, gotten free or contracted free labor. Okay? For me, I feel like being able to know the story and whatnot is going to help me feel out these moments. Needless to say, sometimes I struggle with that, you know? And
yeah,
this feels like the way right now that I'm enjoying music. I'm getting a lot of enjoyment from this, from the social aspect as well. So, you know.
I feel like with an album like this that's very conceptual while at the same time not exactly being like forefront about it.
Yeah.
Like it's very, very subtle most of the time.
But it's also worth mentioning I've tried listening to this album like many many years ago and gave up because I was bored. Because I didn't know what the fuck was going on, you know? So like I feel like at least that should, you know, tell you that Static's doing a good job.
I'm of the belief that any album can be even better than it would be just listening on your own if you listen to it with someone who knows what they're talking about.
So, Vincent, here we go.
Yeah.
Suck a dick on the sidewalk.
Okay, dude. Okay. Okay.
Shall we start? Yes.
I'm gonna start.
Why not?
Why are they gonna stop tuning their instruments and play the music?
Bro said, please react to Young Sheldon. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit, dude.
Get out of here with that.
Don't you know someone's got it lucky. Someone's on the couch. Someone takes it away. Someone makes it all stop. I had a bright tomorrow. Stay on today. Now I'm sorry the last. Now I know what you say.
What amazes me about Vincent is I feel like the first time I listened to this album, if I was able to get past that first song and then actually listen to this one, I probably would have continued listening to the album.
Yeah.
That just shows like my level of patience at the time, you know?
Yeah, I feel like Vincent is sort of like the first wall you kind of have to go through for this album, considering how long it is, and especially like the intro part of it, how long it sort of takes to get going. I feel like once you get past that hurdle, I think it's like, I remember this used to be like one of my lesser favorites on the album, but now it's like near top 5 for me. I love the atmosphere that the song builds up, especially near the end, where it sort of turns into like this sort of like psychedelic-ish, like just wall of sound and noise. It's so good.
I agree. I think the song is fantastic. Like, it reminds me very directly of the stuff that I loved on Twin Fantasy, which in case you guys, if you aren't aware, I love Twin Fantasy. I was there praising that shit before everyone else was. Okay, I'm just saying. I was
You was there since day one.
I was there since day one. I remember the day that released, and I listened to it, and I was like, "This is some real shit." I'm gonna make a review, and then I made a legendary review. Okay, I was there when the fight broke out. Okay,
I remember when that, because I was on Radio Music before Album of the Year for a bit. I remember when that video like reached the front.
When
page
it was
of
on the
that
page
album. Yeah.
of Twin Fantasy. Holy shit! Yeah, that happened.
That was the
Oh my
funnest thing I've
god,
ever seen.
I remember that.
It was like all of these serious reviews about the album, and then just in this fucking shitpost.
Yeah, that was crazy. I completely forgot that happened. Oh my god.
Yeah, that was so funny.
Oh my god, yeah, that was wild when that happened. I remember that. And again, I was just trying to make it at that time, so having something like that happen, your streams are really helping me get through some tough times. Aw. Hey, I appreciate you. Still getting timed out. Alright, get him out of here.
Damn, okay.
I'd give Vincent a 9. Solid 9. I think it's fantastic. Here's the thing. I think even this intro, it builds up and it basically weeds out the weak. All right, you're able to sit through this intro. All right, it really rewards you for your patience, which is kind of this whole stream format in general. Like, you just gotta listen to the guy speaking about the songs, okay? And then you hear the songs, you hear how good they are, and then you get that extra context that just takes it over the edge, you know? It's beautiful.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I see that little bit as like sort of like the roller coaster going up before it just like just goes like straight down the hill into this wild ride. Amazing song. Really well mixed too. Considering this is like their second studio album and all that. Oh yeah, fun fact I forgot to mention at the beginning. This album was produced by let me get the name here. Steve Fisk, who if you don't know who that is, he produced for a lot of early Nirvana stuff.
Oh. Like
Yeah.
how early? Like Bleach?
Like like the Blue EP, the like not, which by the way that EP came out in let me check right here, 1989, around that time.
Wow.
Yeah, very fucking talented guy. Produced a lot for like Unwound as well.
Oh, wow.
Soundgarden, some Low stuff as well. Really talented guy.
They pulled out the big guns for this one, I see. Holy shit.
They pulled the stops for this shit, yeah.
I'm impressed.
Yeah.
All right. So that's Vincent. So basically, yeah, if you want to keep going, you want to give a recap of events, you decide, you figure this shit out.
Yeah. I'm just gonna give a quick recap and then just go straight into Destroyed by Hippie Powers. So basically, first two songs, we're introduced to this guy. He's named Joe. He's a depressed college student. He feels like he has nothing really that great going for him. A party is thrown in his dorm room on Vincent. And he ends up like feeling overwhelmed by all the shit going on, so he leaves. And then that goes basically straight into Destroyed by Hippie Powers. So this song sees Joe discovering that another party is happening in the dorm that he's taking shelter in from his dorm. So he sees this and he's basically just like, fuck it. And he tries escaping his problems by drinking and taking a shit ton of drugs, like in this case, weed. And
very
all that
dangerous.
Yeah. And all that ends up doing is making him feel more homesick and paranoid about his feelings. And his mental state reaches an all-time low. He feels more defeated than ever. He debates just leaving college altogether and going back home because of these so-called hippie powers. And he also feels like he's changed drastically from that happy kid he used to be in his early years, instead now being the sad, angry, and nervous young man that he hates.
Yeah, I mean, it's really intense.
Yeah.
What do you think about the current state of the educational system in America? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
I thought we had an expert here. Okay.
Fuck it. Okay.
All right. Yeah, start talking. All right, start talking about the education system.
Oh my god. Yeah, of course you're talking to the guy who's only 2 years in college. Yeah. All right, yeah.
Bro, I dropped out after 2 years, okay? So.
Yeah. Exactly. And I still don't know jack shit.
Exactly. You know that ever since I dropped out for like 3 years, almost every night I had a dream about going back to school.
I feel like a lot of people have that type of experience.
Yeah,
like sort of wishing that they could redo certain things during their college life.
I mean, I don't have that anymore, but like for the longest time, and they'll still occasionally, like very occasionally, there'll be something, but like, yeah, it's weird, it's one of those big decisions that you could be like 100% confident about, but afterwards you're just like, what the fuck did I just do,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
At least no debt. I mean, true.
It's true.
Like,
I had no debt.
Yeah.
I was lucky. I was very lucky with the situation I was in, but it was also why it was so tough to leave, because I was like, I had a full ride and I left. Do
you remember what your this might be too personal, but do you remember what your major was back then? I'm actually curious.
I did cybersecurity, and then
oh, nice.
Yeah, but then like, I mean, cybersecurity, me, I could barely say a sentence without fucking up, all right? How am I supposed to type tons of code and dissect computers into fucking finding the one little thing? It's like, fuck that shit, man. Nah. So then
just do what the guys in the movies do, where they're just like on their keyboards, just like yeah,
like
yeah.
Scanning.
Yeah. Enhance.
Enhance. It can't go further. God damn it, enhance, Johnson. We're here to enhance.
We must push it to the limits.
Exactly. But yeah, so anyways, that's Vincent, all right? And next song clearly is about, the attack of the hippies, which actually is a historical event. It's based on true events, okay? It's called When the Radiohead Listeners Learned How to Use the Internet.
You know, I thought that was going somewhere, but then yeah.
It's true.
But I never said it wasn't. But yeah, this is probably one of the darker songs on the album lyrically. Ironically enough, it's probably one of my favorites too, just because it's a fucking banger. But yeah, this is also probably the noisiest one off the album too, I think. Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's jump in.
And yeah.
Oh my god.
I know, right? Take this shit way up.
Bro got cowbells too.
This is like the one good use of a cowbell I've ever heard in a song.
I'm freaking out in my mind. In a house that isn't mine. My end goal isn't clear. Should not have had that last beer. It's more than what you bargained for. It's a little less than what you paid for. My bow ties come undone, my microphone hanging from my stem. Tell my mother I'm going home. I have been destroyed by hippie power. Tell my mother I'm going home. I have been destroyed by.
Okay, so this is basically the hangover after everything, right? Basically, this is like the moment where he's like, oh, I fucked up, right? The moment where it's like he's gone too far.
I would say this isn't necessarily the hangover, as it's sort of like in that moment.
Oh, so it's like the hangover 2.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's basically like this song is basically him being high as fuck, and the next song is basically like him sort of like realizing he's fucked up. But this
So
song
that's
is,
like the hangover 3, right?
I'm very confused by where you're going with this.
You
but
know,
keep going.
it's fucking, you know, the hangover popular comedy movie that has like
No, I
Zach
know the
Galifianakis,
movie.
right? And then they wake up,
I know-
there's a tiger in the bathroom, right?
Yeah,
And they're
yeah,
like, whoa,
yeah,
what
yeah.
has happened, right? And then,
yeah, I know
but then
the
they came
movie.
out with sequels that weren't nearly as good. And I remember watching all these movies with my mother, and only the first one wasn't awkward to watch with her.
I'm confused with what this has to do with the song.
It's the hangover.
You keep saying that, but you're not elaborating.
Okay, anyways. You know, I think the only time a cowbell is acceptable is probably when you're high. You know?
Yeah, because it just feels normal to you. It doesn't stick out.
A guy I kinda hate
Destroyed
is here.
Static with yapping power.
Should not have had that last.
Oh, yeah.
Woo! Hit a DMT.
realest shit I've ever seen in the chat.
Oh, it's not like The Hangover. It's like Weezer, We're All on Drugs. Yeah. Okay, I see now.
Oh my.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they're the same theme, but one's shitty in comparison. But
Oh no, I agree. This song's definitely the weakest of the bunch.
okay, bro. Okay. Okay.
Thanks.
Destroyed by Hippie Powers is the most easy to follow along with and straightforward song, despite, the fact that I might have misinterpreted it first. They're just high, making a rock song. It's like, dude, what if we made a song about being high while we're high? But then again, there's other angles to this, like the fear and, the anxiety and the self-doubt that kind of comes with it. And before, of course, just taking more drugs to fix the problem. It's a song that I think thematically moves things together pretty well, that I also think works really well song on the album. So, a banger. Yeah, Smiley Bowl.
If I'm being honest, I feel like this song for me personally is a top 3 on the album. Like I absolutely adore like the way this song sort of handles like its messaging of like being so high that it sort of like destroys you on the inside.
This guy says, don't think this is a song about getting high. Shouldn't have had that last hit, woo hit of DMT, la 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 la. You sure?
Yeah, nah.
Come
Yeah,
on,
nah.
man. Come on.
My favorite line, I think, one of my favorite lines on the album is the part where he asks what happened to that chubby little kid who smiled so much and loved the Beach Boys, because it's basically that's the part where it's like,
Oh, it's about you.
no.
Oh,
I never.
oh, yeah. Oh, okay. I knew that. It was no offense to that,
because you know a lot about me. Yeah, we get dinner every 3 months. Anyway, but yeah, that part is basically just like that past version of him, like basically just being like dead and just locked up in a ditch, and now Joe is basically just sort of this pessimistic asshole. And I think it's just such a really interesting like character development type song. I really love it. It's one
Yeah,
of my favorites on the album.
I really enjoy this one. I thought it was fun. So, doing a good job moving things along. So, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Well, this one's pretty straightforward. What is this? Joe
Yeah.
kicks out of school for using drugs with friends, but says this. I can't even.
This
see-
isn't anything to worry about.
Oh my god.
Sufjan Stevens ass song title.
Yeah. I'm just gonna hit play with this one, as I assume it pretty much explains it, right?
Well, I mean, I can just give a quick, like, brief summary of it if you want. Just might as well, since it does kind of handle things a bit differently in comparison to
Okay.
Hippie Powers.
That's fair.
All right. So yeah, next song is. I'm just gonna shorten this to "Drugs with Friends" just for my sanity and for everyone else's sanity. This song has Joe reflecting on the party that took place on Hippie Powers. The events of Hippie Powers, for a timeline perspective, the events of Hippie Powers took place about a week before the events of this song. Just to let everyone know. He tried to transcend at that party with all of those drugs, but only became a drugged out idiot wandering around the party. And in the album itself is inspired by a book by the name of Death of Denial by Ernest Becker. And in that book, which also ties into the name of the album, Teens of Denial, in that book, he says that drugs are a way to deny thoughts of the inevitability of death. Only when off of drugs can we understand our mortality and place in the world. And in that sense, it's no wonder that Joe, the drugs that Joe took didn't reveal anything, but instead they just repressed the emotions he was already feeling. That doesn't necessarily mean that he saw nothing life-altering, however. In between these pathetic admissions of failure that are through the verses, he sees visions of two people visiting him. He sees Jesus, and then he sees his father, like Joe's actual dad. And they both ask him if he thinks he's smart for choosing a different path than they did. They're both supposed to be like representations of denial. His dad denied his sexuality, and Jesus denied his own death. They both call Joe the scum of the earth, to which Joe replied that he knows he's the scum of the earth, and that he's just going along with the quote-unquote teens of style, which partly is a reference to the last album, and is partly supposed to be commentary on how excessive drug and alcohol use has sort of become a customary for many young adults in college life, sort of a way to cope with various feelings that they're not very aware of in that time frame. And it's also just seen generally as the popular, cool thing to do. So Joe is basically just going along with the modern style. And by the end of the song, Joe has become fully addicted and begins to have even bigger doubts in his head, choosing between these drugs that made him feel good, or between his friends or whatever's left of them that have been with him and care for him since the beginning of his school days, that he's sort of pushed to the side because of these. I
do want to jump in and say, because I see Chet talking some shit. I'll just put it like this: you know that you're allowed to still interpret things in your own way, right? Like, that's a big piece of music. Static could basically say, spitting facts all day about this shit, but at the end of the day, if you hear something different in it, or you feel a different way about it, you're more than allowed to ask questions, or, you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing wrong with that. So,
Yeah. The thing is that Will has not explicitly said anything about this album or the songs. So a lot of what I'm going off of is my own personal interpretation of what these songs sort of represent in this story. And I 100% if anyone in this chat has a different interpretation of these songs, I'm 100% willing to hear them out, because I always find that fascinating, specifically with this band, because of Will's sort of weirder way of writing certain things. I find it fascinating whenever people have different ideas towards this album, what it means and stuff.
All right. Well, that being said, I do want to jump into this because I am curious to hear for myself. So this is
the last thing I wanted to say very quickly is that the song, in the story, this is sort of the song that leads to Joe being kicked out of school, as you can see from the title.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Every weekend, and I'm weak. We the best music.
Why you gotta do that with this
one? I know it's the last one.
Gotta make sure Chet's still awake.
Yeah, you gotta give him some stimulus.
Last Friday I took acid and mushrooms. I did not transcend. I felt like a walking piece of shit in a stupid looking jacket. I walked around town and felt like I was in Sodom. There were filthy people seeking comfort for their bodies. It was
so obscene. Filled with loathing and religious fervor, I laid on my friend's bedroom floor for an hour and tried not to piss my pants. And then I saw Jesus, and he said, "Who are you to go against the word of my Father? And who are you, scum of the earth? No, we are just teens of style. No, we are just teens of style. There were people getting drunk, there were people getting high, they were falling to pieces right before my eyes, and I said, a lot. And there was one guy there who kept asking me, how does it feel? And I didn't even know how to begin to answer that question. So he said, I don't want to talk about it. So there I was, just another shitbag civilian. Prayed to the cops when I was outside, prayed to my friends when I was inside, and I grew tired of the scene. Then my dad showed up, and he was like, who are you to go against the word of our fathers? It goes, who are you, the scum of the earth? No, we are just teens of style. We are just victims of the contemporary style. Yes, we are just going along with the modern style. Now everybody's going along with the modern style. Let's do it together. It goes,
we're all on drugs.
I forgot the rest of the song.
Drugs are better. Drugs are better with friends are better. Friends are better with drugs are better. Drugs are better with friends are better. Friends are better with drugs. Better with friends, better than drugs.
Bro, song tripping. You good, homie?
Better than drugs, better than friends, better than drugs, better than friends. Drugs are better than friends, are better than drugs, are better. Drugs are better than drugs, are better with friends. Better with drugs, better than friends, better than drugs, better with friends.
I got two things. First of all, I actually do appreciate the explanation because, honest to God, the title has literally nothing to do, basically, with the majority of what happens in this song. But two, I also want to mention that Static is an aspiring content creator, and I do believe that them being here and being able to speak about this album is really good practice for that. So I do ask people for a bit of patience as well. You know, just the one of us. The one of us.
I'm still kind of learning the ropes, but you know, I'm working with what I've got.
So, you know, one of us, one of us, one of
Yeah.
us. You
I
know?
appreciate that. Man. Yeah, I appreciate that.
So, anyways, yeah, this is a fun one. I very much enjoy this little drugs are better with friends are better with, and like this whole thing in the song itself, you could hear it going through a trip. It's very tongue in cheek, but I think it's really cute. And the storytelling elements of these songs so far being so straightforward but creative has made this just a very easy experience to fall into, because it is so focused on storytelling. It's nice. So I enjoyed it. Still a smiley ball for me. Probably my least favorite out of like just like technical, bullshit.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Out of the songs that we've listened to so far, this is also probably my least favorite of the bunch, but I still really, really love the song. Like, I think it's a really good way of like continuing the themes and ideas that were sort of explored on Destroyed by Hippie Powers, but in a way that's a lot more like somber and in a weird way kind of intimate also, because a majority of the song is literally just Will singing with like a bare bones like acoustic guitar and like very little other effects. Yeah. Brad gets kicked out.
Yeah, they're not knowing how to code. I actually failed out of a coding class that I knew better than everyone in the class, because I just didn't turn in any of the work because I was too busy working on YouTube stuff.
Honestly, kind of relatable. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's the kind of student I was. So Anyways,
Yeah, I get that.
not what I needed. A continuation here. So this title pretty much tells you what you need to. Obviously, Joe is still doing them drugs. All right, which is very dangerous, especially when you're trying to get that edumacation. Okay, so.
Well, I mean, he already got kicked out, so.
Well, yeah, but you gotta imagine he has to get his life together somehow. All right, and this doesn't
That
seem
is
like
sort
a healthy
what-
way of
In
doing
a way,
it.
that is sort of what the song is about. Because
Really, I missed
song-
out on that. I was
What?
more focused on
you're
the.
talking about. You're talking about drugs with friends. Oh, I thought you were talking about Not What I Need.
Oh, okay. So, all right. Yeah, I thought you were talking. Okay, all right.
No. My bad. Do you have anything else to say about drugs with friends, or do you want to just move on?
Let's just move on.
All right. Next song is Not What I Needed. This song shows Joe trying.
You're not what I need.
Yeah. All right. This song shows Joe trying to get help and sort his life back together, but instead of going to therapy or taking meds, since he is like broke essentially from being a college kid, he instead goes into online forums and web pages that claim to be giving out good free advice. This advice ends up being completely useless nonsense, however.
Does this free advice come with like, downloading more RAM or more cable?
I mean, something like that, I suppose. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Fishy.
And yeah, and the advice ends up not doing anything for him, and in some regards, it actually ends up.
He became a redditor. Dude, this is his low. This is the low of the story.
I guess that is a way to look at it. Yeah.
This is rock bottom.
Yeah. He becomes a Discord moderator. Yeah.
Oh, the worst.
But yeah, this advice ends up leading him to feel even worse than when he started out. And he sort of, by the end of the song, comes to a conclusion that even if he ends up getting better and becomes like an actual happier, functioning member of society, he wonders what would be left of him and if he would really just be like everybody else, because he sort of realizes that this depression sort of makes him special in comparison to some other people. And if he gets rid of it, if he would just become just like everybody else, just a guy.
So he dumps his normal pills down the toilet, essentially.
Sure, I guess.
Okay.
So there are technically two different versions of the song. There was one that was originally going to be on here, which ended with a sample or an interpolation of a Cars song, Just What I Needed. But I think like 48 hours before the album was supposed to like drop, the guys from that band were essentially just like, Lamau, no, we take back our permission. Good luck. And so all those copies of the album that had that original version had to be destroyed.
Stop
And-
sampling. Love you.
We
It's
love
that
you.
round, right?
Yeah. And so Will basically, in an act of like sort of just in the moment thinking, replaced that ending with a reverse sample of an older song from Teens of Style, Something Soon, and uses a recording of a phone call between Will and a German radio station he was being interviewed by, where he sort of explains the ideas and concepts of Teens of Style and Teens of Denial as a sort of double sister album type thing. And another thing I want to say, but I'll probably go more into it after the song, is that the song was actually in The Sims 4, and there is a real Simlish version of this song where Will is singing in the Sims language. I'm not joking with you. That is 100% real.
Oh my god.
We'll listen to this. We'll listen to this version first, but I'm gonna very quickly send you that version so you can look at it afterwards, if you don't mind.
Yeah, for sure.
It's really funny.
Yeah.
Medalla time.
Let him cook. Exactly.
I have nothing but questions. I need answers. Those would fill me up. I know when I'm being catered to. I know when I'm being catered to. And I will not settle for lowest common denominator. Hello, my friend, we've been waiting for you for a long time. We have reason to believe that your soul is just like ours. Did you ever get the feeling you were just a little different?
They not like us. They not like us. They not like us.
They not like us.
Good people give good advice. Get a job, eat an apple, it'll work itself out. It's a phase. Hey, it's chemistry. It's your own fault. But don't listen to us, we're just people too. I've been waiting all my life. I've been waiting for some real good porn. Something with meaning, something fulfilling. I'd like to make my shame count for something. I feel so empty trying to explain this. His name is William Oren, bro, and he's from the 70s. And when I wake up in the morning, there are people sleeping on my couch. Well, I have something to say about that one. Free people give free advice. Let go of the pain, let go of the pain. But if I let go of that, what would still be here? Would I find out that I am just people too?
Free people get free advice. Let go of the pain, let go of the fear. But if I let go of that, what will still be here? Will I find out that I'm just people too?
Just say that one more time.
We the best music!
Bring them out, Karen.
Bring them out, Khaled. Beat switch.
The intent was to sort of go back to these periods and a little bit, especially with Teams of Style. You know, Teams of Style was sort of contemporaneous when I was writing it, you know, and what I was experiencing at the time. And I guess I was just out of my teenage years when I was writing Teams of Style. I didn't really feel like anything had changed. So, yeah, I guess the two of those albums together are sort of an exploration of the past, really. How they connect to the present and what I'm doing as the past. I'm sorry, what? Say that again? Connection must be bad. Can you try one more time? When I was starting out, I recorded.
I think this is easily the most disjointed song and honestly a little confused, but also at the same time, is the first song and the first time in this album where I'm realizing, you know, I actually kind of understand the themes of this album as a dropout. And unfortunately, I am indeed neurodivergent and an adult, alright, who has gone through similar things. And, yeah, it's sad to say, but I could maybe, possibly, slightly maybe see myself as part of this album's demographic. That being said, not what I needed. Honestly, easily the worst song. With the first song I'm kind of indifferent towards. I give it a shrug.
Yeah, fair enough. Also, you say you're part of the demographic, so what you're telling me is that you're a gay furry.
No, I'm talking... It's about the context, okay? You know, I'm listening for the story, okay? It's not just the gay furry stuff, okay? There's like stuff in between that's going on, all right, that I'm like relating to. Okay.
Wait, hold on. Well, you know, the gay furries also turn out to relate to this album, you know, so it's not.
But that's a non sequitur. Okay, that the two things have nothing, and I mean nothing to do with each other.
No, yeah. You're absolutely right. I'm just, you know, stating.
You don't sound. You sound like you're questioning me, huh?
Not at all.
Game. What do you think of this song?
I'm not gonna lie. For a good while, I used to think this was also like one of the weaker songs. I feel like I've just kind of grown accustomed to it after listening to the album for like years and years and kind of growing up and like becoming a college student myself. So I feel like a lot of the themes of this song kind of just hit a little bit closer to home for me personally. But I do understand why someone would say it's their least favorite on the album so far, especially with the ending being a bit just a little bit long. I have listened to the version that was originally supposed to be on the album with the car sample, and I do wish that version was the one that made it onto this album, but I still really love this song. Yeah.
That being said, now we listen to Peak. This is real. I need slances, those who feel gear. You should have seen the look in my face when I realized this. So we've been talking totally fine. We have reason to the queen that your fables is just like ours. If you ever give the feedback, so much translation. It is, yeah. Blessed with different. So please go with faith, if you believe round the floor.
Would you say that improves or
It's a
or
fucking
lowers?
fever dream. That's all I can say. Wow, that is. It feels like living in an alternative reality. So they succeeded. Wow.
That was their goal, I suppose, since, you know, Sims is basically an alternate reality.
That is so trippy.
It's so weird.
Oh my god, yeah, that is.
Because, like, it's so weird because, like, when I listen to that version, I can still hear the lyrics in my head. It's just when I pay attention to the song itself, it's just a complete nonsense.
Yeah, that's weird. That's really weird.
So bizarre.
Yeah.
Like, I'm usually indifferent when it comes to, like, the Sims, like, Simlish versions of songs, but that one specifically just hits very fucking weird to me.
It's so weird. It's just so. And it's like the voice is the same too. Like.
Yeah.
Oh my
It's
god.
Will's voice.
That's wild. All right. Anyways, Drunk Drivers, Killer Whales. I've heard this song, though I've had my own interpretations of the song, and I still do. I'd be interested to hear yours before jumping in.
Yeah. So obviously this is like the biggest song on the album, you know. On this song, Joe feels absolutely defeated, drowning all of his sorrows in drinking, like he did on Destroyed by Hippie Powers and Drugs with Friends. And the song begins with him approaching his car to start driving away while under the influence. And the first verse is sort of his like thought process through that. And then on the second and third voice, Joe's significant other, who was sort of mentioned in the Gun song, which Joe was first like introduced through, tells him about these feelings and tells him that she's been going through the exact same thing, telling him that it's okay and that he can start again if he tries. Even if Joe strikes back at her, telling him that he's become such a negative person and he feels too far gone. In the book Death of Denial from earlier, Becker says that the acceptance of death leads to an understanding of our impermanence and the necessity to help others while we're alive. By accepting the feelings that he has, Joe can better understand himself and what he should do. And outside of the story of the song, Will sort of compares the act itself of drunk driving to that of Killer Whales. Which, have you ever seen the documentary Blackfish?
No.
It's a documentary about like killer whales and activity and like SeaWorld and stuff.
No. If it doesn't involve video games, nope. You know.
True. And in the documentary, in the wild, which is supposed to represent like sober drivers, killer whales are known for being quite docile creatures and indifferent towards humans whenever they come in contact with them on like ships and just like generally in the ocean. But when killer whales are in captivity, which is representing like drunk driving itself.
Would you say that like killer whales are like when SpongeBob's behind the wheel, right? He's like swerving and running people over, you know, that's laughing.
Yeah, when killer whales are in captivity, yeah, that's basically SpongeBob driving, yeah, behind the wheel. Okay. And yeah, when they're in captivity, killer whales are known to be quite aggressive, actually, and there have even been reports of like killer whales in captivity killing like trainers during like those like shows and stuff at SeaWorld. And basically, back to the concept, Joe's love tells him that it doesn't have to be like this. He doesn't have to be a force of evil that harms others, and that hurting people by accident while trying to go home under the influence is like a morally reprehensible thing to do, no matter what your situation is.
I think I got the idea. I think I'm ready to listen to the song. So
yeah.
Let's just jump right into it.
I'm done with everything. Yeah. So
wait, here we go.
In the backseat of my heart.
Who's Joe? Joe Mama. Got him.
You beat me to it. God damn it.
I saw that look in your eyes.
I couldn't get the car to start. I left my keys somewhere in the mess. We're just trying, I'm only trying to get home. Drunk driver.
The car's on fire, and there's no driver at the wheel.
I fucking knew that was gonna happen eventually.
This is definitely the song that's the most well known from this album in general, and yeah, I mean I really like this song. I think it's one of those that's thematically again really easy to follow along with once you kind of understand what's going on. But I still also feel like the killer whales part is interpretive. Like, yeah, there's the literal, you know, killer whales and their behavior and whatnot, but I mean, bro, it's got the word killer in there. All right, and the song
is
killer. You know what I'm saying? All right, put the connection together, okay?
No, yeah, I'm following you.
They're fucking with some killers, okay?
Yeah, car seat killers, teens of Bumbleclat. Yeah, I see you.
Exactly. See the vision.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, I feel you.
We'll give the song a 9. Yeah, I think it's definitely one of the best of the album. I think it's again, like, I love following along with this. I love seeing this kind of like mental switch that kind of keeps going off throughout this track, as well as the aloofness and sense of humor that's present throughout it. So yeah, I think it's really charming and again very well made. So.
Look at she just said Lil Toledo. Yeah, is that right? Is that his new rap name?
God.
But yeah, that's probably, it's either that or one of the later songs that we'll get to. One of my favorite songs on the entire album. I adore the writing and the themes and concept of that song so much. And I just think that ending bit where he's like screaming out like killer whales is like such a triumphant feeling moment in the album, especially after like all of these songs so far feeling so like defeated in a way. Like I feel like that's sort of like the first glimmer of like hope in a shitty situation, and I think it's just really beautiful in the track list.
All right, and then we got 1937 State Park, which sounds like it would be the title to a Logic song.
Well, yeah, I can't even.
You see, we out here spitting facts.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways.
The song could technically be seen as the title track since like I said earlier, the cover art was taken from a photo called 1937 State Park.
Okay.
I don't agree with that necessarily, because I feel like Drugs with Friends is a bit more of the title track because of its references to Teens of Style.
Teens of Style, yeah, yep.
Yeah, but that's a way to look at it, I guess. But anyway, this song sees Joe taking a first step at attempting to get better.
Wait, Joe?
Yeah.
Joe Mama!
Bruh.
I'm out!
All right, boys, it's been an amazing stream today. I want to thank everyone for coming here, and yeah, this channel is owned by me now. I'm getting 50% of the profits from. Hey!
Oh, shh! I'm here.
That was part of the waiver, though, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't. There's no waiver. Okay, the only thing I was waving is me waving my hand bye when I kick you out the call for spreading misinformation about our contract. Okay?
Well, I feel like you're spreading misinformation because we literally talked about
this. Hey, discussing NDA. All right, you guys, it's unfortunate that the video has to end. Don't buy static coin.
Yes, buy static coin.
Don't buy static coin.
Take that shit to the moon, bruh. I'm trying to go big.
Okay. Anyways, 1937 State Park. So people say it's the unofficial title track. You disagree? You think that it's "We're All on Drugs" by Weezer, which is actually on an entirely different album. You know?
Yeah, very avant-garde choice to do that, especially considering that album came out like 10 years before this one. But
they were really thinking ahead, you know?
Yeah, under a completely different band with different people. Yeah, it's crazy. But anyway, 1937 State Park. The song sees Joe taking a first.
Wait, Joe will do what? Or will Joe? Huh?
No, don't pay attention to that. Don't pay attention to that. Anyway, listen. It may be Pride Month, but yeah. Anyway, Joe is attempting to get better, trying to mature himself to get out of these situations, as he feels like maybe he's a bit too childish to handle such deep concepts as the ones he's sort of run across throughout the album. He begins to abandon childlike desires that he used to enjoy, like his journal, his Air Jordans, and and he's this deep desire that he has to die, basically. Because Joe realizes by the end that he's sort of not yet ready to handle losing all of that, and he ends up instead discovering things about himself that he absolutely hates and wishes that he could, like, just kind of change about himself, and just generally just does not like about himself. And by the end of the song, he ends up pursuing a relationship to distract himself from all of this with the person who comforted him on Drunk Drivers, Killer Whales.
Okay. 1937 State Park. Here we
Yeah.
Kaboom! Elephant Man.
I never thought it would happen to me, but
You fucking with some killers.
no one should ever have to look at themselves. I steer clear of graveyards, the art cliche of my death-obsessed generation. No one should ever have to look at themselves. High school teen dream dies in a hospital, leaves behind a journal and a pair of Air Jordans. Lyrics of popular rock ballads changed to include his name. I'm taking back my heart. You were digging a hole for it 6 feet deep. I didn't want you to hear that shake in my voice. My pain is my own. And when the cops shook me down, I cried walking home. I cried walking home. Oh, you and me are connected now. We were in one photograph, but we don't even look happy. I can't commit to a crime to commit. I need to get one done for the biography, because when I split the scene, leave the party early, what am I leaving behind me? Just a memory, another body. It ain't no pair of Air Jordan. Something is ringing. Death is playing his telephone lips for me.
Electric xylophone?
Goes hard. It's Death
What'd you say?
It's Death playing his xylophone ribs from the lyric.
Oh.
And when the cops shook me down, I cried walking home. I cried walking home. I didn't want you to hear that shake in my voice. My pain is my own. And when the cops shook me down, I cried walking home. I cried walking home.
I think I just shit my pants.
God. Come on.
Don't worry, I'm worrying for two, so don't worry, baby. Don't worry, I'm worrying for two, so don't worry, baby.
You know, I personally think the Kid Rock inclusion honestly added important context to this song that wouldn't have been there otherwise, all right? You know, despite what anybody might say, I think that was a smart stylistic choice from Car Seat Headrest, okay? So, you know.
Sure, yeah. I guess that's one way to look at things, yeah.
It's a fun song. It's very chaotic. Probably not my favorite, but I still enjoy it. Give it a smiley ball.
Yeah.
Toilet Seat Headrest?
Oh my god.
What do you think about Toilet Seat Headrest?
I mean, it's one of the names ever. Also, I'm really happy that you didn't read Legoshi's one of Legoshi's earlier messages.
Oh, I'm
he
scrolling.
He said, no, keep going. He said, yeah.
So, I think I just lost a couple of years off my life reading that.
I feel like I aged a couple of years reading that.
Yeah, that was bad, Legoshi. That was really bad. But yeah, I don't have really much else to add about this song. I mean, yeah, it keeps things moving. So, you know,
it's one of the it's a song off the album. I still really love it. I think the chorus is like one of the catchiest of the album. And this one's just such a fun one to just blast in the car and just kind of like go fucking insano mode on driving too. It's really good.
That's fair. All right. Next song we have "Unforgiving Girl." She's not in. Which I would imagine means that she's not an unforgiving girl.
Yeah. This could also. I've seen people say that this is sort of related to the twin fantasy relationship, as this song is one. Car Seat Headrest have a thing where ever since, like, with the exception of Making a Doorless Open, they always have at least one song that's about Will's ex Kate Wertz, which the original Twin Fantasy was explicitly about. And this song is sort of a similar situation to that, where it sees Joe falling in love with this girl from Drunk Drivers and 1937, and he's confused at whether or not these feelings are reciprocated. He's confused and beats himself up over this until the end, where he exclaims that it may be an unforgiving world, but she's not an unforgiving girl.
Unforgiving killer, she's not in.
Oh
wow.
My God. She forgives him of his shortcomings and inability to understand like various social cues.
People are saying it's not about Kate.
Is it not about Kate? I thought it was.
They're saying objection. So
maybe I read that wrong then. Okay, forget what I said about that earlier.
Good chat. What is it then? Everyone, I'll put it like this. All right, you have the stand, chat, and if you win this, the Static owes me $27. Okay, how about that?
Yeah, you tell. Wait, what?
It's about Joe Mama. Well, Skrigel's a mod, so Skrigel represents the audience.
Okay,
meaning that's not a very strong defense. Okay.
Wait, hold on. This is biased though, since it's coming from a mod.
That's true. That's true.
Hold on.
Fictional girl, so it's fictitious. Yeah. It's about an unforgiving girl who's not Anne. Oh, I know.
Yeah,
so this is the story of a girl where everyone's first impression of her is that she's really innocent. But when you get to actually talking to her, you find out she's kind of got a dirty mind.
Oh, I get it now. Oh
my
okay.
God.
Oh, I understand. All right, well, let's listen and we can decide afterwards. Unforgiving girl.
So this...
Bro.
What a glorious hell we have found, until I recognize the sound of my voice again. For years I hadn't had a clue, but suddenly I can look through your eyes again. This isn't sex, I don't think it's just extreme empathy. She's not my ex, we never met, but do you still think of me? They say that the world is one, but if the world is one, how come you never come around anymore? Guess it's not that simple. Well, everyone learns to live with their sins, but girl, you wear yours like a brand new skin. So take it off and let me back into your... It's an unforgiving world, but she's not an unforgiving girl. It's an unforgiving world.
So this is the story of a girl.
She's not an unforgiving girl.
I think I die inside every time you press that button.
Welcome to the Welcome Center. Make a U-turn. My phone is freaking out. I'll lose my shit while they reroutes. But she moves in, she speaks in. She's on a chain that moves towards perfection. Baby, the effects are so good these days. If there were kids behind those big brown eyes, I wouldn't be able to tell the difference. Got to be forgiven in a world like this. Oh girl, you know you got to be forgiven in a world like this. It's a small world. You know you got to come see me sooner or later. Girl, you know I know.
You said this was gay furry music, not straight furry music.
Well, because
what the
it's
fuck's
being
going
played
on here, huh?
It's in like context of like a completely separate character. Like this isn't necessarily Will singing. This is supposed to be like Joe sort of saying his feelings about this person.
I see.
Like I was gonna say that this is basically like about a fictional person that Joe has like fallen in love with, and they haven't like.
So this is the story of a girl.
No, fuck no. Let me speak, damn it.
Go on.
But yeah, Will. I want to clear this since it seems like a lot of people are being confused. Will and Joe are supposed to be two completely different people. Joe is just simply based on Will's personal experiences, but Will and Joe are completely supposed to be like two separate people. And so this is from Joe's perspective. Yeah?
Joe Mama.
Okay, I walked into that one. Yeah, I'll give you that one. I walked into that one.
Got him! Alright, go on.
But yeah, I just wanted to clear that really quickly, that Joe and Will are like separate people. Will is gay, but Joe in this story is like just like a straight guy, pretty much. Or I guess it could be bi, one of those two. Either that's not the point. But yeah.
All right. Anyways, let's finish the song.
But everyone learns to live with themselves, and you're not the only one who's been through hell. So give me a sign that I'm not making love to myself. It's an unforgiving world, but she's not an unforgiving girl.
it's an unforgiving world. But she's not an unforgiving girl.
But she's not an unforgiving, yeah. It's an unforgiving world. It's an unforgiving world. But she's not an unforgiving, yeah. It's an unforgiving world. It's an unforgiving world. But she's not an unforgiving, yeah. It's an unforgiving world. But she's unforgiving. It's an unforgiving world.
That's it.
That's it? I don't like it. Unforgiving Girl to me is, let me put it like this. It's rhyming girl with world in a way that is so intensely in your face that it's driving me insane. And it's just the context itself it doesn't even matter. It's annoying. I don't like it. No. Oh, shrug.
Yeah, that's fair. Would you say it's your least favorite of the album so far?
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
No
Yeah,
question.
that checks out. Yeah.
It's just so girl world. She's an unordinary girl in an unordinary world, and you know, it's like,
Yeah, fair enough. For a while that used to be my least favorite of the album, and it still kind of is, to be honest, especially with an album that has so many amazing songs like this. But I still kind of like it. It's a bit of a banger for me.
what's your
Plus, I
opinion?
think
What's your opinion on this?
So this is the story of a girl where everyone's first impression of her is that
I'm going insane.
Got him.
All right. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to really say about it. It's just kind of.
All right, then go.
I still like the song, but you know, it's just it's good. I like it.
All right, Cosmic Hero. So what goes on in Cosmic Hero?
All right, so this song is sort of a beginning of a bit of a crazy track run for me. I think the next like 2 or 3 songs are like amazing. So in Cosmic Hero,
Michael Jackson, amazing.
amazing, exactly. So in the book Death of Denial, Becker believes that after humans have lost their belief in God, that they also lost the heroes they aspired to be. And so the Cosmic Hero this song is sort of named after is likely God, who is referenced in the chorus of the song. Joe here gives pessimistic advice on how to cope with depression. He tells someone in the song, most likely the girl that was mentioned in the previous songs, similar advice to the things he hated being told by adults. Lie in a river and die, hide it for your family's sake, forgive people if you really don't want to die alone, things like that. And Joe's love asks him why death is on his mind so much, to which Joe responds with the chorus. Death could separate Joe from his love due to their difference in faith, both literal and figurative. Although with his actions in the end, it may end up being his love going to heaven rather than him. These thoughts are influenced by his parents, and in terms of like outside of the concept, it's very likely that the song is about religious trauma and sort of reasoning with that.
All right, and with that, I think we're good. Let's jump into Cosmic Hero.
This is like one of my favorite songs ever. I'm so excited.
When
dread complete you. And if you really don't want the pain, you would disengage completely, because it wasn't healthy anyways. And you've got a job and a family. If you really wanna fall asleep, then you'll have to find some punctuation. And if you wanna ride it out till the end, you would tie your
Love that
thoughts
line.
together. And if you really wanted to be kind, you'd have forgiven them a long ass time ago. And if you really wanna know how kind you are, just ask yourself why you're lying in bed alone. I know you wish my flesh.
That's a
would
bad
heal.
word, by the way.
I love you, but I can't stand the touch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course I'm
Yeah, you're not
alright
wrong.
with that. But why you talk about it so goddamn much? I will go to heaven, you will go to heaven, I will go to heaven, I won't see you there. I will go to heaven, you will go to heaven, I will go to heaven, I won't see you there. I will go to heaven, you will go to heaven, I will go to heaven, I won't see you there. I will go to heaven, you will go to heaven, I will go to heaven, I won't see you. If you really wanna know yourself, it will come at the price of knowing no one else. This guy, he was so high, I asked my friend to punch him out. Can you kick his ass? Kick his ass, Joey. And if you really wanna make the change, you would cut yourself off completely. And if you just want it to be okay, it will never be okay. It'll be alright, 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 it'll be alright.
So this is the story of a girl.
gotta change addresses again. If they knew where the fire was, they put it out. Someone's knocking on your door. Fire turned towards me with an open mouth. And if you don't come home tonight, you will never call it home again. And if you need some peace and quiet, there is room for all in heaven.
I think this is unbelievably great. I mean, this song is up there, if not better, than Drunk Driver's Killer Whales. It feels like a fever dream of denial. Like, you couldn't convince me that this is a real conversation. It's beautiful because it's like so absurd and so self-loathing. Like, it's crazy, but it's like, it's beautiful. I think this is incredibly well made. Yeah.
I'm feeling.
I'm feeling like I'm running and I'm feeling like I gotta get away, better know that I don't and I won't ever stop, cause you know I gotta win every day. See the really wanna pop me, just know that you will never pop me, and I know that I gotta be a little cocky, you ain't never gonna stop me, every time I come a nigga gotta set it, I gotta flow and I gotta show it, cause it doesn't matter, cause I'm gonna murder everything.
I'm gonna say it even though it's very controversial, this song is almost as good as Killers. Almost.
Yo, actually?
Yeah, I know.
Yo, we've done it.
I know.
Yeah, we've done it. We won. Let's go.
Okay, enough celebration. Okay, what do you think of this
song? Either this one or Drunk Drivers is like in the top 5 for like favorite songs of all time for me. I absolutely love the song so much. The way it's perfectly. I think this is like perfectly created. Like the mixing is amazing. I love the production, the horn at the beginning, which is sort of like Death's trumpet in a way. Like I because if you look on I forgot to mention this. If you look on Teens of Style, you can see like this character who's like almost like playing like a horn or something to like this dead guy. I'll send you the full.
Oh no, I got yeah. See. He's got a gold chain on, you know?
Yeah. Which that character is supposed to in itself represent.
Yo, and he's got the Gucci? He's got a Gucci.
Yeah,
bro.
He's got the Gucci, Louis, Prada.
Oh my God. Wait, they don't go together though.
What? I mean,
no, because
the cars.
No, wrong button. This.
Prada and Gucci don't go together.
Yeah.
Right,
they don't go together. Now
I forgot to read the sacred texts. My bad.
Now, would you agree that this is indeed a story of a girl?
This album or
this song?
I found this song specifically to be able to be interpreted in like different ways. Like it could be it could be about like Joe and this girl, but it could also be like Joe and having like a conversation with God as well. It could also, I've seen like a few people also say that it could also be like Will almost breaking character and almost speaking to Joe himself, giving Joe advice on how to handle things. But I do think that there are a lot of ways to interpret the song specifically. But being about a girl could definitely be like one of them, I'd say.
That's kind of the thing that I immediately came to with this song is I think it's initially portrayed as being about a girl, but I genuinely think this is all like made up in Joe's head. This whole conversation, like it's all a dream. I think that's what like the most interesting interpretation for me is, because this whole thing, especially with the way that she's talking to him about like I'm going to heaven, you're not, is like such a like one of those like horrific nightmare situations. It wouldn't happen in real life, so yeah. But everything else being so realistic, I think really sets that up well and makes it punch so hard. So
definitely, yeah, for sure.
So yeah, amazing song, really amazing. Next song is the Ballad of Costa Concordia.
All right, this one. Okay. This is by far the longest song on the entire album, running at almost like 12 minutes, I think. 12 minutes, like 11, 12 minutes. Joe goes into very great detail on how he feels like his life is completely meaningless and there's no point in trying since he feels like his ship has already sunk at this point. The song title is a reference to the shipwreck of the Costa Concordia, which was capsized off the coast of, I think, Italy, somewhere around that. And it was captained by a man named Francesco Schettino.
Was it the one that the Internet Historian video was on?
Yeah, that's the exact one. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've watched that, so I do know at least enough about it.
He crashed the ship and killed 32 people due to his complete incompetence as a captain.
This to me sounds like it's going to basically be another like continuation onto Drunk Drivers Killer Whales. This time driving a boat full of people instead of a car that's just you. The first thing I think of.
Yeah. But yeah, Joe feels the same way as Schettino in this instance, wondering how he was supposed to know how to live his life as a young adult with no one to teach him the ropes about anything, and sort of just like was left to his devices and sent off to college without really being told anything about the young adult life. And towards the middle of the song, he exclaims that he's completely given up on trying and that he's done with everything. And there is a bit at the end that I could go into detail about. I'm going to do that at the end, sort of explain that to you afterwards, because I think it's more interesting that way. But
okay, that sounds great. Then let's just jump right into it. Go.
To the garden, see the flowers stretching in the sunlight. Now I wake up in the mornings, I know the kind that just stand out of me. Spring I was just wincing, anything to regain some sense of peace. If only I could sustain my anger, feel it grow stronger and stronger. It happens to a point and sheds my skin, takes off the weight of my skin and takes me to heaven.
This is a story of a boat captain where everyone thinks they're really innocent, but deep down they actually have a really stupid mind.
Shut the fuck up.
It's not really a compliment.
So stupid.
Maybe you think
How did that become a running joke this stream?
but all this time it's just gonna break me. If only I could sustain my anger, feel it growing so much stronger and stronger. It sharpens to a point and shits my skin. Shakes off the weight of my skin and take me to heaven. And I've lost you for good. Could I have been any other way? Was the walls you feeling out for years? Or did it break all in a day? I'm going to bed now. I've sunk into my sorrows, and it will take $300 million to get me up tomorrow. Nation. We got it, but it was something else, and that's and it was not us. We were so naive, we were just like animals. Told to believe by the beats who took control. We wanted control too, but that was normal. Cause our life was one of survival. The decision we made, if you can call it deciding, when your life is on the line. With social suicide to change your mind. So we don't mind, and we split the sea. Now we don't load all of our shit for free. It's the new economy, we have nothing to offer and we sleep on trash. I give up. I give up. Let us take it back to where we came in. Mind clinging to the thing for revelation. Just get on with we will find each other pain, it was not me. So from the borderline into his disguise. Now he read a book that won a Pulitzer Prize. Was about death, it didn't help. He saw himself in it. And he was disturbed, the conclusions in that too. But he couldn't say because the author was dead too. And so he made fun of us, he has now become one of us. I give up. 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 Give up.
I give up. I give up. Let us take you back to where we came in. We were united, an undivided nation. We got divided, it was something inside us and it was not us. We were so naive, we were just like animals, told what to believe by the beast who took control. We wanted control too, but that was normal. Cause our life was one of survival. The decisions we made, if you can call it deciding, with your life on the line, it'd be social suicide to change your mind. So we got mad and we split the sea. Now we download all of our shit for free. It's a new economy, we have nothing to offer, and we sleep on track. I'll give up. I'll give up. Let us take you back to where you came in. A man clinging to the cliff of revelation, so scared of what he would find, he started crying, it was not me. Stopped at the borderline and stripped his disguise, so he read a book that won a Pulitzer Prize. It was about death, it didn't help, he saw himself in it. And he went to show that the conclusions sounded that too. He could say what because the author was dead too, and so though he made fun of us, he has now become one of us. I give up. I give up. I give up. I give up. I give You wake up trembling from a dream where I swam into the river. I'll reach out and hold you in my arms. I love you, I love you, I love you.
Wow, that was a lot. Ballad
Yeah.
of Costa Concordia feels like, honestly, a very straightforward character analysis, but again, like, there's themes that cross over with the story and everything that's been going on so far. I mean, you want to talk about denial. It basically feels like the entire, everything denial related, like came and collapsed all at once, which I feel like is also sort of the purpose for this album. Like, the mask is off, you know? And yeah, I think it does a really great job with it. I wouldn't give it a 10 personally, but I think it's great. I think it's moving the sound. It's like a great sort of near end piece here. I still prefer the previous song, but like regardless, this is amazing. Like extremely well constructed, like a riveting, fantastic story. So I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, I agree. I especially love the part near the middle where he sort of goes into like this massive rant where he like basically saying like, how was I supposed to know how to do this or do that? Like he was basically expected to do all of these things at such a young age that no one really took the time to like tell him how things really worked as a young adult.
But I also feel like there's some sarcasm in there.
Definitely, yeah.
Like a sense of like there are things thrown in there that are very obvious that somebody should have it figured out, but also at the same time, you know, the expectation of it. There's a lot of layers, and I just enjoyed the fact that there, you know, there is an opportunity to dissect in. Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. I want to, if you don't mind, I want to point out a few things about the ending bit about the song, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
The book that he was referring to near the like last
I was never taught what laws there are. Sorry.
the book that he was referring to at the end, like about the one that won a Pulitzer Prize that the author died. That is Death of Denial, like a direct reference to that book, because that book is basically like what a majority of this album is sort of constructed on top of, along with Will's experiences with college. And the bit about the end where he wakes up, that is supposed to be, from what I can tell, that's supposed to be like Joe's like love from like the previous song, sort of waking up from a nightmare. Because in Beach Life and Death from Twin Fantasy, he says, last night I dreamed that he was trying to kill you. I woke up, I was trying to kill you. So it's sort of like a direct reference to that. And yeah, this person sort of has a dream that Joe sort of floated down away in the river, which directly references that one of the bits of advice that he gave on Cosmic Hero. And Joe sort of comforts this person and reassures her that he'll stay, changing from someone who would give that advice to someone who would comfort someone hurt by said advice. And I think it's like a very moving sort of like arc that this character sort of goes through, and I think it kind of sets up for the next song really, really well. So
Connect the dots.
All right. Connect the dots. There's the literal way you can take this, or there's the story way. I'm just gonna go with the story way since that would make more sense. This song is about Joe's struggle with his family not believing he can make it in whatever profession he wants to achieve in. And Will does that by comparing that to how his parents sort of didn't believe in him making it in music with this Carsey Headrest band. They tell him to stick to a safer, more conventional job, but Joe continues to persevere in spite of that, and hopes to become the hometown hero no one would imagine him being. The story of Frank Sinatra inspires Joe and leads him to try again and go back to school, since Sinatra went through a very similar thing where no one in his early life sort of believed that he would make it in music before he got like truly, truly massive the way he did. And there's a bit in the chorus where he shouts a bunch of constellation names and just normal people, and that's supposed to be him sort of saying that like, even if I were to end up in heaven, I will be surrounded by gods such as Cassiopeia and Orion, and as well as just regular everyday people such as Cindy and Nathan. And yeah, it's basically the climax of this album, and sort of I would say it's probably the most inspirational song on the entire album, since it's basically Joe sort of getting his shit together finally. So yeah.
All right, sweet. Here we go. Final song, or not final song, but pretty much final song. Connect the dots.
Yeah.
You don't mind? I'm just gonna let it play the next song too.
Okay, I was gonna play. They don't like transition into each other or anything, but
No, it's like separate. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right, I'll start. Honestly, I have a very simple way of saying this. This is basically a great end of credits style song after the biggest, most impactful and important song of the album. Connect the Dots. Yeah. It's great. It connects the dots. It finishes the storyline. Smiley Ball. I think it's wonderful.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like the way this song sort of basically wraps up the entire story in such a inspirational way, as opposed to like some of the other songs. Like I feel like if the album ended on like Cosmic Hero or even Ballad of Costa, Concordia, it would have been a weird way of ending it, since it was kind of tragic, like a very sad ending to that story. But I feel like with this, it's sort of like it's basically like the light at the end of the tunnel for this Joe character, and I think it's like such an important song in the overall story of things. And yeah, I really love it.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Really like the tried to find the answers, make it all make sense, but turns out it doesn't work like that. Try to deal with that approach to death and the other themes of this album. Yeah, I mean, it is. It's like basically Teens at Denial to me feels like bobbing around like an idiot trying to figure life out, which is honestly pretty accurate, making mistakes along the way and, you know, basically touching a hot stove throughout it. And yeah, it makes it feel real. And I think that's what makes it feel so impactful. So I totally get where you're coming from.
Yeah, 100%.
All right.
Last song is Joe Goes to School. Now, there's two ways to interpret this song.
Actually, can we talk about this one after we hear it, since it is only
Yeah,
like a
actually,
minute?
I was thinking that exact same thing. Yeah. Okay, I'm down.
Okay. To me, it just feels like an ending past the ending, which it's fine.
Yeah.
You know, I don't really have much to say about it, but I'd love to hear what you have to say about it.
Okay, so in preparation of me coming on this stream, me and a friend of mine, Cyber, shout out to her, we sort of got together and sort of tried to make this album make sense in a way that like was understandable. And for this song specifically, both of us have had like two different interpretations. So, my friend interprets this as basically Joe, as the title says, going back to school, and on the way there, he sees a horse. And because in Williamsburg, where this album's set to take place, there are quite a few like wild horses around the area, and they kind of show up and stuff sometimes. And he goes up and pets the animal, and he admires it. And then he sees.
And this is when he decides he wants to be a furry, right?
You know, yeah, I suppose that's one way to see things. And yeah, then he sees some people that he hates show up, and he flees the area. And yeah, that's my friend's interpretation of it. That's sort of like the literal way.
Yeah, that's very literal. Like, wow.
Yeah. And my interpretation of it is that at this point in this album, Joe's story is over. Like he's already like gotten his life together and went to school and all that. So for me, I sort of see this less of Joe speaking and more of Will himself breaking the fourth wall, and sort of comparing a horse and that to that of a young teenager. As when you stare into like the eyes of a horse, you can't exactly, or any animal for that sense, you can't exactly tell what it is that they're feeling. Sort of in a similar way to how with a lot of young adults, they put up this front where that you can't really like tell if anything deeper than the surface is going on in their lives. And he reaches his hand out, which is alluding to Will trying to help this person out in a similar way that they did with Joe. But the difference here is that unlike Joe, because Joe was based on Will's own experiences, and he sort of already knew Joe in that sense, he doesn't know how to help this person because he doesn't know what they've sort of been through in their lives to lead them to this point. And he manages to sort of speak with this person, but they don't really seem interested in any of the advice that they give, like, at all. And the car pulling up to the scene could represent like the parents of that person saying how their child is fine and doesn't need any help and is living their best life, which would tie really well into the themes of like fill in the blank from the beginning of the album as well. Sort of justifying that a person's life by saying you have so many amazing things to celebrate and there's no use in being sad. And so Will leaves them alone, feeling like a tourist attraction in biking down the street, which could basically allude to him feeling as if no one would really take him seriously in terms of helping people with mental health like he did, since he's basically become like a celebrity at this point, having been signed Matador.
Okay. Yeah, no, I actually like that because it does feel like the story already ends. And there's no reason for like, you know,
There's
an
no reason to
extension
continue-
of like there already was an ending to this. Yeah.
He's already like moved on. It doesn't matter like what happens to Joe now. Like this is basically Will breaking the fourth wall. And I legitimately think that this is probably like, I don't know if this is necessarily a hot take or whatever, but I legit think this is like one of the most important songs on the album because it basically ties all of the themes of teenage depression and angst and like anxiety and everything into just this super small package. And I just think
What'd you
it's
just
so
say I
good.
have?
What?
Oh, nothing. Sorry.
You're going insane. But yeah. But yeah, I think the song is a fucking beautiful way to end the album, and I think it's one of the most underrated songs on the album, in all honesty.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think I'm ready to give my full review of Scenes of Denial. All right,
go
here
ahead.
we go.
Talk your shit, white boy. Go ahead.
All right, so Teens of Denial is one of those things where I honestly see a lot more of an outsider Will puppeteering and honestly creating stories that are reflections directly of how he feels. And it does feel like a storybook of many sorts, especially at the end here where the songs really extend out and become these very long-winded tracks. And again, there's intros and, you know, setting scenes. It feels so theatrical in that way, but theatrical in the way of where like a classic book. That's kind of what it feels like to me. It feels like sitting down and listening to a bunch of stories that all connect with a similar theme. And like you say, this is the ending where it closes it and basically final words. And yeah, I love that. I think that's an amazing and very comforting way of making an album. But I also believe that even Teens of Denial and the themes throughout this are so unbelievably easy to attach to my life experiences that it's actually a little spooky. Some, you know, with what I've gone through, and I actually very much connected with these songs individually and found it very fun to just sit and listen and hear what each song kind of had to offer. Like, I was actually really glad you were able to tie things together and really help string the story along, because for me, when listening, I loved getting the individual pieces and tracks. And again, I think another important piece is that these songs do not transition together, and it's another reason why it feels like individual stories. I think this is very intentional. There's literally space between these songs, like space of like a song ends, there's like seconds, and then the starts, and there's more seconds of silence. And I love that. I think that there is so much care put into this project. I definitely think there are a couple of weaker moments here that are a lot more forgettable for me, or just straight up don't do much for me. But I think that the moments that really stand out here stand out for a very good reason. If I had to give this album a score, I would give it an 8+.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm really happy I got to give you the full story of this album, because, and I guess I might as well give my personal thoughts on this album.
Man, go ahead. Talk your shit, King.
Yeah. I wouldn't necessarily. I would say that this is like a very important album in the Car Seat Headrest like discography and in my own personal life. I do agree that to an extent, I feel like Twin Fantasy is obviously sort of like the superior album, and I suppose some people could make an argument for How to Leave Town, but I feel like with this one specifically, the way that its narrative is sort of like woven together is such a relatable experience, and especially nowadays for me, since I'm currently living the college experience myself, and sort of in a weird way, sort of see myself in Joe throughout this album many times. And I think that the more that this album sort of has sat with me, the more important to my life it has become. And it has gotten to a point where I genuinely think that this is like one of my all-time favorite albums ever. I absolutely adore everything about this album. The way it sounds, the way it ties everything together, the story it's like presenting in this grand fashion. I genuinely adore this album almost as much as I do like something like Teens of Denial. And I think it's like one of the easiest 10 out of 10 albums I've ever given. I adore everything about it.
All right, sweet.
Yeah,
that's really cool. That's desperately wanting you to listen to Ghost. I'm not doing that.
That's from his older album.
Yeah, I'm not listening because I'm wrapping things up. I got stuff to do. I gotta call my mom. So, fortunately,
do you mind if before we end the stream, I just say a few final words to chat and everything?
Okay, but again, I gotta call my mother. So.
No, yeah, it's gonna be quick.
All right, I'm gonna disappear for a second then. I'll be right back.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, all I want to say is thank you guys for sticking around. This has been really, really fun. I never in a million fucking years would have thought that I'd be on a Brad stream showing him like one of my favorite albums ever. And I want to give a special shout out to my friend. I paid the subscription for that, true. I want to give a very special shout out to my friend Cybercrashers, who helped me sort of weave this narrative in a much more, in a much better way that sort of like helps make things make a whole lot more sense. So I want to say big shout out to her, and just I'm very happy to be here, and this has been one of the most fun experiences I've ever had in my entire life. And yeah, thank you so much.
Oh, I was you're right, I was muted. I said, and you could be too. You could be the next guest for only $15,000, which is what Static paid me. So
well, yeah, fair enough.
It's unfortunate, I know. No.
Yeah. Yeah. I had a blast doing this. I don't necessarily know if you would ever have me on for like any other albums, but
I already told you I would.
Yeah. If you ever want to do something like this again in the future, like at some point, maybe not like another Carsey Headrest album, but maybe like another album I'm passionate about, I'd be hella down to do that because this was so fun.
Yeah, no, it was great having you. I feel like these sort of reactions are very enriching. They're long-winded, so it allows for a good discussion and patience. I feel like, especially with reviewing culture, everything is so, it's just consumed so quickly. So even taking time between songs to discuss things like this, I feel like is very valuable. So I appreciate you for being here, for doing this, and
Yeah, I've been a fan of this channel for a long time. Like almost like back in like 2018, back when like the Twin Fantasy review came up, or like back when you were like first reacting to like Panic at the Disco and 21 Pilots and shit. I've been here for a while, and to finally be able to sort of be here amongst like some legends among the channel it's a really good feeling. So I'm really happy that this turned out so well.
All right, kid. All right, cool. All right, goodbye.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Peace.
Yeah.
Oh man, these Make-A-Wish kids, man. I'm telling you, But hey, he's not gonna be around for much longer, so you won't have to worry about that. I'm fucking with you, okay? It's dark. Jesus Christ. All right. I know. Boo. I'm sorry. We love you, Static. Thank you again for being a part of this and for providing actually really awesome context. And again, a lot of different angles to this. It's been a very fulfilling and interesting listen. So appreciate you. I'll see you guys next time. Not sure. I might be streaming tomorrow, but I'm going to be honest. I don't even know what I'd be streaming. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. I might have promised something to Subwood. I'll figure it out. Peace out, everybody. Thank you for being here.